Hi, I'm Stuart. I'm one of the directors here at Enlight Electrical. This is one of our sites we've got ongoing at the moment for Lochie Homes in Dunfermline. It's been going for about a year and a half now. Today I've got the lads in doing a first fix. It's a James House type. It's a 3-bedroom detached. You can go in and have a wee walk round with the lads and they'll talk you through the process of how we carry out a first fix.
So when we first come into our first fix, we'll load up all the cable, get the drawings and get the house marked out. We'll then drill through all the joists with the roots we need. We use a laser level to do this, just to ensure all the lines are straight, as it makes it easy to wire and it makes it look a lot neater as well. So these are metal caps. We fit them if the cables are coming through any studs. It just provides some extra protection. It's good practice and it stops joiners screwing through any cables. So this is me just clipping back a switch wire to the switch from the pendant in the centre of the room. We clip all the clips 400mm spacing, just per the regulations. We need to ensure all cables are flat and they're coming through the holes at 90 degrees. It looks a lot neater. So once the first fix is complete, we'll go round and dwang all the legs. This is just to ensure the legs is exactly where we want them and the joiners can bring them through. We nail it into the joists and then we'll mark the centre where the legs kind of come through. We'll drill a hole and bring the cable down. During the second fix stage, we'll just fit the ceiling nose as standard, but we fit a dwang just in case the client later on decides to fit a heavier pendant or leg fitting.
I'm Danny, I'm a third year apprentice at Enlight Electrical and I'm wiring the upstairs of the house. In our first fix we wired the sockets and light switches and also switch wires going to the lights. When wiring upstairs I like to keep the clips 400mm apart, clip to the top of the joist and also all of them going at right angle bends to make sure it looks neat and make sure all the cables are flat inside the clips.
So at the end of the first fix we'll go around all the cables, mark the heights and the location the cable will be, and this is just to ensure the joiner knows where to bring it through and what height. Once we're completely finished the first fix, we'll go around and brush everything up and make sure there's no mess left, and this is just to ensure the next person's not coming into the mess.
So now we're on to the second fix stage. This is a Ely House type bungalow. So we'll go in and show you a couple of the processes that's involved during the second fix. We've got Connor in doing the main board at the moment and the other boys are just cutting out boxes, fitting double sockets, downlighters, etc. So we'll go and have a wee look. So here we have Owen. He's one of our second year apprentices here. He's cutting the downlighters out in the kitchen. So the process we do for cutting out the spotlights, we mark the ceiling for the sizes, get the laser level set up so you know they're going to be in line, and then we'll basically just mark the sizes on the ceiling. So once the downlighters are drilled, it's just a case of going up into the attic. This is a bungalow we're in at the moment, and poking the cables down, fitting the downlighter, and that's you. So here we have Mason. He's one of our first year apprentices. He's fitting a double socket at the moment, just obviously making sure all the connections are tight. Once he screws it up to the wall, try not over tighten it. He usually pops the gyprock, so make sure it's nice and flush. Level all the screws, dress the screws, and make sure that the socket's level. So here we have Connor. He's one of our time served electricians. He's fitting the consumer unit at the moment. At Enlight we make sure that the guys, when they do the consumer units, to make sure that the consumer units are bang on. Neatness and standards, we obviously want a high standard throughout. Ensuring that the main board is done perfect is one of our big priorities. At the moment he's making sure all the cables are not overlapping, folding back all the copper on all the single cables. We usually start from the right hand side, work our way to the left, dressing all the cables neatly. So the reason that we work from the right hand side along to the left is just obviously just because the cable size. We try and keep, for each individual RCD, we try and keep the highest breaker to the main switch side and then work along. Same again at the left hand side, making sure the cables don't overlap, and also folding back the single core copper cables just to ensure a great connection inside the MCB. So if we follow all these steps, that just ensures that the board is fitted to a high standard.
So after the second fix is complete, what we usually do is once all the sockets and stuff are fitted, we'll get the lads to use the Fluke multimeter, just loosen a socket off, just do an end-to-end test on the live, neutral, earth and earth, just to make sure you're getting a complete ring on that circuit. This just tells you basically if it's a complete ring, or if it's an open circuit, then there's a loose connection somewhere or a mixed up ring.
One of the last steps in the second fix process is the smoke alarms and the fan testing. Once obviously the power gets turned on, to ensure all the smoke alarms are interlinked with each other, and we go around and just push the test button on them to make sure they all go off at the same time. Do that with each individual smoke detector to make sure they're all interlinked. So to test the fans, we use the Testo fan tester. That's just to make sure that it's adequate airflow flowing in that room. Usually the fans are situated in the en-suites, bathrooms, WCs and kitchens. To go through that process, it's like a Bluetooth device, so we can link it to the guys' phones and set it on the fan where we have to boost it or bring it down a bit. It's got a boost setting and a trickle setting, so you can average whatever the spec is on the drawing. And once the tests are recorded, the lads send it over to Em at the office, and she then does the fan certificate. Once that's filled out, sends it over to the site agent. We do these tests to ensure that the houses are in safe working order and ready for habitation.